And welcome back to part 8 of What If Uzumaki Lived in the Leaf? Part 8. So last time we had the tuning exams, we had the preliminary matches. Excuse me. But someone really said, well, it's actually easy to do it. Just do the matches this time around. Just replace the Sound Ninja matches with the 3 Uzumaki in this case, and then just put them in each of those matches. Well, I could have done that, but then I would have had to randomize who was going with who. I can't just put the girl against Shikamaru and all that. No, it's not how that works. No, I would still have to randomize it regardless. So we cut now to the aftermath of that, where everyone is going off to do their own thing. You know, Sasuke is going to go. Kakashi offers to train Sasuke. Hinata, I believe your father has offered to be training you. I believe he's also going to want an update of what happened. Is it yes, Kakashi-sensei and Naruto? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe an old family friend of yours is back in town. I'd go talk to your mother about that. It's like, oh, family friend, and Naruto thinks, Pervy Sage, and it's like, yeah. And sure enough, he goes back, asks his mom, "Hey, is Pervy Sage in?" "Oh yeah, Jiraiya came in about an hour ago." Of course, he's busy doing something. God knows what. It's like, I think we both know what he's doing. Mom's like, I pretend to ignore. I ignore it. I don't want him corrupting you. I'm gonna go find him because I want to start training. So, Kushina's probably like, "Oh, come on, he's gonna come back eventually." So, why don't you sit down and I made some ramen. It's like, ooh, I guess I could stay a little bit. And still, sure enough, Naruto goes, finds Jiraiya. It's like, pitiful, and just sighs, and then gets that flash of Satan in his eyes. He's like, so basically, Naruto just lightly touch because he's not trying to threaten Jiraiya at all. He's like, put a little there on there, and then just gets a distance, just. "Hey, old man, stop staring at the lyrics in the bathroom. What?" "Oh, never. Have no fear, ladies. Like, really, Jiraiya is here. I will woo you on this. Yeah, woo this thing. Maybe I'll go. Maybe another time." And all of a sudden, I can't move. What? It's like, yeah. Which Naruto's like, yeah, sorry, Pervy Sage. As Naruto's saying it on the other side of the wall, so he doesn't get in trouble. But you kind of had this coming. "You little brat, you put a paralysis seal on me." Get the girl scream. I'd get the Fairly Odd Parents scream up there, because that's the scream I always imagine in my head. I think he even did that a couple times. The girly eye bitch scream. It's like, ah! And so afterwards, like, oh, that was cruel, Naruto. It's like, well, if you stopped being such a pervert, we wouldn't have to do that now, would we? It's like, ugh. "Well, how you been, brat?" It's like, I'm pretty good. I'm getting the finals now. Mom said you were gonna help train me. "Oh, that's right. I had some time here. I could definitely show you a few pointers. Besides, you think you're at that age where it's time." And so they go back to the Uzumaki estate because she was like, "Jiraiya, it's so good to see you. I hope my son didn't catch you doing anything too nefarious." As the hair starts to rise a little bit. No. Just caught me. He just says, actually, turns out he was just getting some tea and hitting on some women. Nothing too bad. It's like, oh, well, at least you weren't being too inappropriate. And Jiraiya's just like, it's like, oh, me. It's like, oh, God, he's blackmailing me. And then the Kisuke comes like, "Oh, Jiraiya, you're back. It's good to see you." Now, should be pointing out Jiraiya's relationship. Obviously, he probably has a good relationship with the Uzumaki. The Uzumaki being around, and him at the time in the series and the canon being, I think they state he's probably like the greatest seal user around. I mean, he probably isn't the greatest in the world because the Uzumaki are still around. Hinata's also probably gotten a lot better too. But he is probably a good couple steps above because the Uzumaki have been around. He's probably learned from them and vice versa. I'm sure he's probably been able to figure out some things they didn't maybe initially think of and then they maybe improved on. So they probably had a great relationship. Add on Minato is married into the clan and that's his student and he's got a good relationship with Minato. So, no, I'm sure he's in great standing with the clan. They probably love his ass. And they probably have their fair share of perverts too, let's be fair. Kisuke probably say, "I'm just a regular handsome pervert." So I was like, oh, so you're going to be training Naruto for the next month? Well, I wasn't in the village coming back to visit, but if that's the case, I'm sure I can stick around and train the kid up, definitely. Definitely. Oh, what do you think you're going to teach him? That's a good point. That's a good question. I have an idea of a few things to teach him in Naruto. Why don't we go back into your to the clan compounds and see what you currently have available? And so Naruto goes back, shows off the Winjutsu he's learning, including Air Bullet, Gale Palm, Great Breakthrough. Did I have him learn anything else yet? I don't actually think I've had him learn any other Winjutsu so far. But the Air Bullet, Shadow Close Shot, Explosion Shot, and the showing off the numerous amount of seals, including the stuff he's learned to seal with. And Jiraiya's like, I got to admit, kid, I'm impressed. That's quite the laundry list. When it comes to seals, I really doubt I'm going to be able to teach you anything your clan can't teach you. But I think I can help you out a little bit with some other things. For example, who's your opponent coming up? Sakura. Sakura Haruna, the Haruto girl. Yeah, I heard about her. Apparently, she's gotten a grasp on Genjutsu pretty well. And that's something, as far as I'm aware, you're not very skilled with. And then just starts to think on it a little bit. Yeah, I got an idea. And so, one of the things he focuses on is trying to counter Genjutsu, because he did that in Naruto's training in the throughout the Shippuden, which Naruto admittedly was, even Itachi gave him praise. The only problem was it was up against Itachi. So, I don't know if that was a good gauge of how well Naruto actually learned to spell a Genjutsu to be going up against someone who was one of the top Genjutsers in the world at that time. But still, it shows that he actually did learn at least a little bit from Jiraiya, albeit probably not that. He learned his fundamentals is what he did during the 3-year training skip. I think a lot of people get on Jiraiya's case for not really showing Naruto much in terms of techniques, but what he did is he ultimately upped his fundamentals and his bases to a much higher level. Unfortunately, it's just he should have at least taught him learned his element at least. He had the time. Plus, he knew the shadow clone techniques or shadow clone training techniques. So, why not? Anyway. So Jiraiya would be focusing on that, and luckily Naruto's probably been learning a little bit of that, but it hasn't been his focus. So that part of the training, I imagine, could go pretty effectively. As for what technique you learn, I think Jiraiya actually would be focusing on probably an extra Winjutsu just to be safe, because Jiraiya is smart enough to know it's like Haruno's even with the Genjutsu on our side, Naruto could probably beat Sakura without too much problem. It's the next opponent that he'd have to worry about. In this case, Gaara. Because the way I did the matches up, it was Neji versus Karin, Shino versus Hinata, Naruto versus Sakura, Shikamaru versus Gaara, and then Kirishima versus Sasuke. Actually, that's not true. Sasuke would have to fight Gaara. So Naruto is actually going to have to go up against either Gaara or Sasuke. So either way, he's going to have to learn he's going to need something under his belt. Now, Jiraiya, I think, is going to go twofold on this. He's going to go, okay, I'm going to ask the clan to give me access to a Winjutsu for you. And B, we're going to also work on some seals. From what Kushina told me, that Gaara kid, if you're going to have to fight him, is no joke. He's so powerful. In fact, this is something your dad doesn't even want you to know, but it's important if you're going to have to go up against him. How your mom is the container of the 9? It's like, yeah, this is where Naruto kind of peps up and gets serious a bit. It's like, but yeah, what about it? It's like, remember, he's the 9 tail. That means there's 8 other tailed beasts. Apparently, from what Kushina kind of pinpointed is true, this kid's the container of the Shukaku. And so there's one sealing jutsu I think we're going to have to be working on. And to do that, I called in a little bit of help, to which Kisuke himself, comes out. It's like, yep, we're going to be... While you're working with Jiraiya, when you're not working with Jiraiya, you're going to be working with me. We'll be cutting it on a very particular jutsu. It's going to be difficult, but we have a whole month's time for this. And so, Jiraiya works on the one thing he was going to practice on, which is Naruto, something that he's long since had under his sleeve at this point. And thanks to Minato figuring out, also has a couple other tricks with that technique. And Naruto has, spoiler, I'm not going to truly spoil it, but I'll give you a hint. We've seen him attempt the technique earlier in the What If. You can all probably put it together, but why spoil it? He's going to be focusing on an extra Winjutsu, which Any one of you who watch me long enough will probably know which one that's going to be. And he is going to be learning a special technique, a special seal with Kisuke. So really, we now just cut over to beginning of the finals of the exam, because there's no real drama here, because there's no threat of invasion, because the Sand is not an idiot. Even if they wanted to rebel, they know against Minato alone, Minato probably could take on the Shukaku all on his own, because he was able to stall the Nine Tails out of all things, and that was not even at his peak. I mean, for ninja, age seems to play a factor in terms of your peak a little bit, because as you get older, your chakra reserve, they even say it, it's like he doesn't have when the third fought Orochimaru, he didn't have the reserves of chakra he once had. He's become old. It's like, yeah, as you get older, I mean, there's, I live in the woods, so once the weather gets nice enough, and it's an old house, so once the weather gets nice enough, we get the big black wood ants, so every now and then I gotta go, squish one. But yeah, so as you get older, you will lose chakra reserves. It's just the way it is. Your body's going to start to fail you a little bit. But even old ninja like Sarutobi and Onoki were still powerhouses in their respective level and what they were capable of doing. So, I mean, Jiraiya being in his 50s, we saw like, that's why I always don't like the whole thing. Hey, old man at 20-something, like, dude, Jiraiya's in his 50s, and he could beat the crap out of most ninja in the village at that time, if not all of them. The only one he might have trouble with is Tsunade and Guy and Kakashi. Those are like the big three he would have had trouble with. But it's, he, it's like 50 is not that old. But in the context of Naruto, I get it. Still, they would not, Minato is only in his 30s here. So, yeah, he's not even in his 40s yet. So while he's on the older side for a ninja, he is by no means not like in his golden years yet. In fact, if anything, this is probably his peak, like his true peak physically. Because, I mean, middle age at this point now for most guys, men and women, is like 38, 37-ish, something like that. Because the average lifespan, I think, is like 76, 78. So once you hit your 40s, that's really middle age. That's true middle age. We're getting to the point now where 80 is the true average now. And yeah, it makes sense where your true peak at this point middle age is now right around 40. So Minato is now just starting to hit middle age. So yeah, he'd be at his peak. He could mess fools up like you would not believe. But anyway, we get to the finals, and everyone's just like, yeah, that's it. All right, the combatants are set. With all the remaining, the first match will be between, I believe it's Neji and Karin, but I just had it right here. Yep, Neji Hyuga and Karin Uzumaki. Everyone else, please, head to the viewing booth. This is, I want you to know this is not personal. Fate has destined me to be the winner. But I hold no grudge against you, Karin Uzumaki. It's like, well, isn't that very kind of you, Neji? And I want you to know, despite what the Uzumaki, how the Uzumaki and Hyuga kind of are with each other, is that I hold no grudge against you either. That's why I'm going to enjoy kicking your butt. And it's going to be fun kicking such a cute cutie's butt, too, to which Neji kind of just like, it's like, flirting is not going to save you. Oh, who said it was going to save me? I just think you're cute. To which Neji's like, prepare yourself. Ooh, Mr. Serious. To which Karin's just ready. Now, I got to remember what Karin's chakra elements are here. You'd think I'd write it down at this point. I think Karin was what? Water and earth? Those were her two elements? Water and earth, please tell me. Yeah, water and earth. Got that right. Ooh, I feel good. So, Karin just gets ready, and the match will begin. And Neji immediately comes in towards Karin. It's like, It's like, and to which Karin immediately just, does a hand seal. It's like, water style, water shockwave. I believe that's the one where, was that the one where Kasame basically just, splewed the water, not splewed, wow, that was a word. It threw up a lake, pretty much. Anyway, it's that technique. Probably on a lesser scale, because to be fair, I don't even know if the average Uzumaki has has the same amount of chakra that apparently Kasame had. Kasame was a freak apparently, that his average chakra level was Kyuubi enhanced Naruto levels. Neji even said that, like, this guy has the same amount of chakra as Naruto, and the time he saw the amount of chakra Naruto had was, or no, he had even more, was when Naruto infused himself with the Kyuubi chakra. So Kisame had nuts levels of chakra. And as far as we know, he wasn't an Uzumaki. No, so she does that, probably on a lesser scale, but enough that it at least fills up the arena with like a nice foot tall level of water. And now Neji's waiting, but quickly gets on top of the water. It's like, yeah, this won't stop me. And then it just comes in, and she's now starting to dodge. It's like, got you. And he hits, but all of a sudden he hits. Wait, what's? It's a chain. It's like, yep, sorry. Did you really think I was going to go up against you and not have some sort of counter for that gentle fist? All of a sudden the chains come out, and he's now trying to attack her, but she's just blocking with the chain, just do. It's like, I've had enough of this. And he just comes in, just rotate. He gets in close and does rotation, and she's like, crap. Water style. Water octopus jutsu. To which she tries to wrap it with chains, but the chakra's already spent, so she basically fuses water with the chakra chains. Similar to how Kurama basically fused his chakra chains with his thorns. And, starts to just block with a giant tentacle shield as they're kind of clashing with each other. And she basically just says, I can't fight it. So if I can't fight it, I'll go with it. And then all of a sudden the chains start to go with she just lets the chains wrap with the sphere, and because they're chakra, they eventually the sphere just kind of stops. What is, as Neji is revealed to be kind of caught in the, she's like, oh, damn it, oh, and she's just holding up and saying, that's enough now, that's enough there, cute stuff. Don't want to be hurting that pretty face of yours. It's like, damn it. He's no longer going to be able to fight. This match is over. It's like, are you sure about that? It's like, and all of a sudden he's able to at least move his hands enough to tap the chakra and disrupt the chakra. Just boom, it's like, what the? And it's like, your chakra, those Uzumaki chains are made of chakra, and my gentle fist is designed to attack chakra directly. As we see what happens when he, when using Kasa against Kitamaru's webbing, he just cut it because that's how the gentle fist works. Unfortunately, these are chakra chains, so he can't just straight destroy them, but he can disrupt them enough that he can get loose. And that's so to which there's it'll take more than that to put me down. Well, I didn't think it would, but I came prepared just in case. To which Neji's like, it's like, what are you talking? And all of a sudden Byakugan sees another one right in front of him. It's like, what? And then the water prison jutsu. No, damn it all. I made a water clone while we were busy with that rotation, just to be safe. Now it's over, because you're either going to drown or you'll give up. Which Neji just finally can't. And Neji just gives up. The winner is Neji Hyuga. And so, then basically the next match will be Hinata Hyuga versus Shino Aberame. Shino Aberame. Oh God, been a while since I had to say that last name. And so Naruto is Naruto. Naruto says good luck to Hinata. Thank you. Thanks, Naruto. And they go down. And basically what happens is her and Shino clash. I'd actually say, because of the way she's kind of naturally flexible, and they point that out, she's very agile. The rotation, while the 64 pawns is a bit rigid for her at first, she even says she had trouble with that in Shippuden. There we go. Well, she had trouble with that. I think the rotation would not be an issue, so she also does the rotation, but she also shows off something else where that she'd been practicing outside of her father. And besides the, and since I had the list of the techniques here, I'm going to get that name up again. 8 trigrams. Protecting 8 trigrams, 64. Nope. Mystic Palm Tech. Nope. What was the name of the technique again? I always do this. Anime only. Okay, no, protecting 8 Trigams, 64 Palms. That's what it was. Um, she reveals that as as she's coming in, for a hit against the insects, it gets over Hinata. As the swarm comes in, she reveals first off, she reveals the technique, which her dad probably didn't even know about. I was like, what is that technique? And starts to slice at the insects, but also she's revealing that there's lightning chakra in there as well, as she's actually taking down the insects, and then comes in and actually 60 gentle fists him with a electrified gentle fist open palm and just says, it's like, darn it. Man, I'm sorry. Please give up, Shino. I don't want to hurt you anymore. Yes, I surrender. The winner is Hinata Hyuga. It's like, yay! It's like, and then to which she walks up, and her father's just kind of looking on surprised, like she really has gotten stronger. It's like, and she looks up, and he just gives a nod. Not even a smile, but a nod. So that leads us now to Naruto versus Sakura. Now, has Sakura been really training? I think her Kurodai would actually be getting trained down on Naruto or Sakura to be sure she went out of her way to train, because she knows that despite the talent she has, she's still a fangirl. She's like, okay, watch me, Sasuke. I'm going to show you just how strong I've gotten. And so, she comes in, and Naruto and her. Yeah, Naruto wishes her luck. She says, thank you, Naruto. She doesn't hate Naruto at all in this. She's just, Naruto's a great benchmark. He's arguably the strongest in the class, except for Sasuke, at least in her head. So they go out. So they go toe to toe. Sakura starts off with clones. Naruto starts off with clones, and eventually, things change up, and he's stuck in the tree binding technique. And it's like, interesting. All right, well, go ahead, Sakura. You got me. It's like, what? Well, go ahead. And she's like, what are you talking about? Oh, well, I guess I'll have to do it myself. And then just, he explodes. This exploding shadow glow. It's like, truth be, yeah, drawing. We spent the whole, one of the things I spent during the training is drawing how to get rid of the genjutsu. That's when Jiraiya Sensei, Pervy Sage told me that shadow clones aren't affected by genjutsu, really. Well, that's not true. They aren't affected. Shadow Clone could be used as the target of the genjutsu instead, as long as you're not paying attention. Sorry, Sakura. She's just kind of laid out on the floor. Just, I can't, because to use a near point blank exploding Shadow Clone. Because the whole idea of the tree binding technique is, you basically come and kill them while they're in the genjutsu. And so Sakura is like, crud, I got too cocky. Or did I? It's like, huh? And she disappears in cherry blossoms. Oh, crud. It's like, sorry, Naruto. I had a feeling you'd do that. So it's time to end this. And so, if she uses the most powerful genjutsu she has, only for Naruto to be like, oh, crud. She all of a sudden just, it's like, what? What did you? It's like, yeah, unfortunately, because of my chakra reserves, trying to negate genjutsu on its own isn't that easy. So I had to go for the next best option. A little bit of pain, it can go a long way, Sakura. All of a sudden, he just, wind style, gale palm, boom, and just hits her in the wall. This time, she knocks her out cold. So gave Sakura a little credit there. She actually did a genjutsu and a genjutsu. She was prepared. But ultimately, she loses. So the winner is Naruto Uzumaki. And so Shikamaru and Gaara go up against each other. And he admittedly stops Gaara a little bit, but he quickly realizes, like, you know what? I'm out. Done. I surrender. I can't beat this guy. I recognize that. And so then, all right, then the last match coming up is Kirishima Uzumaki versus Sasuke Uchiha. And I think that's where we're going to end this part 8, where Kirishima and Sasuke are there. And fortunately, they were the last match. So I think Kakashi, also being a little better about it this time, goes off and it actually gets Sasuke there on time. So they're about to face off. You ready? You ready, Sasuke? Bring it on. Bring it on, Kirishima. And so that's the end of this part 8. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.